Greetings one and all. This is Greg for Tesla Fan Insight. Today's talk focuses on $4,000 stock price that is predicted by the CEO of a company called Ark. I wanted to acknowledge that we're supposed to go on today live at 4 p.m. Eastern, but I wanted to shift times, one, because I thought the news was explosive, and two, because by us going on late in the afternoon on a Sunday, it doesn't give people a chance to access our information during a regular day off, which would be Sunday around the world. So I apologize for the show up a day early. Two topics to cover today. There's a company called Ark, A-R-K, that's an investment firm. And the CEO there is predicting a $4,000 stock price for Tesla, which I think is awesome because Elon Musk is only targeting a $3,000 stock price. The second thing I wanted to look into today in our conversation is focused on the difference in how Tesla's handling the semi-truck versus handling the Model 3. And I think there's some really interesting points related to that. So first of all, one of the ways in which I sort of gather information of things we might cover on our show is we actually focus on, so if you type into your Google bar, CNBC, Tesla, and Ark Capital, it'll bring up a video of a CNBC show in which the CEO of this investment firm actually makes the case for a $4,000 Tesla stock price, which I think is totally amazing. The interesting thing I found with CNBC is they've generally been negative. So they brought in a individual to do some presentation, and that I'm going to change my location here just a little bit because I feel like you guys are going to be really angry about the blast of sunlight you're getting. So maybe I'll try different orientations so that we can give you maybe a different look. So we'll try that, see how it works. So what I wanted to get into with Ark Capital is usually CNBC has a process in which they savage or say really mean things about Tesla. And if they don't do that, they actually will go ahead and find folks to make really ugly comments about the company. In this case, I wanted to suggest that what's going on with Ark Capital is that she's arguing that there's an interesting problem, which is when you deal with regular auto companies, they're looking at 20 or 25% margins because they're what's called a hardware company. In the case of Tesla, what you're dealing with is a software company, and software margins tend to be in the 80 to 90% range. So what happened was there's a guy named Kevin O'Leary who's also a famous investment manager, and he's on Shark Tank, and Kevin's question to her was, how can you justify a 300 multiple for Tesla when regular car companies are getting a 25 or less multiple, more like 16? So his question was, would the multiple on Tesla come down to meet other car makers or vice versa? And so what she explained was basically that when you're operating with software margins, the justifiable price for your company is a little bit different. So I just thought this was amazing. She also pointed out that when you look at the software updates that Tesla does on a regular basis, you can really see the difference between having a company that's built by software engineers versus having a company that's built by hardware engineers. So in essence, what the argument is that you'll see that occur. The next thing that comes to mind that she pointed out, which I was impressed by, and I again encourage you guys to go up and search her out, and I'll do an attachment for it, is that there was a question about, well, what happens to the Model 3 relative to their inability to get the production done. And her point on the Model 3 was, look, if Tesla can do rocket science and get those rockets to the moon via Elon Musk, they'll get the whole production thing squared out. So she's not worried about that. What I also enjoyed by her commentary was the fact that in general, there have been a whole bunch of discussions from CNBC and others about the fact that Tesla has shortcomings that you should consider. And once you look at those shortcomings, like not being able to meet production demand, you all of a sudden have a company that's questionable in terms of whether or not they can succeed because they can't figure out their manufacturing. And what she really highlighted, and I was impressed by, is the fact that there is no worry on the part of seasoned investors about the future of what Tesla can do. They're very clear on the fact that Tesla will figure out the problems and get production rolling, and that there are a bunch of novices and quick money folks who are really worried about the next week, month, 90 days of Tesla, and are really not looking at the big picture. So this really explains some of what we've seen, which is basically the stock, Tesla is missing some deadlines, etc., and the stock price isn't diving. And it really highlights the fact that the value investor, the long-term investing public, is happy with where Tesla is at, and they're also happy with where things are going. So a few thousand vehicles a month down or missing isn't a big impactor for the people who are playing a long game, but it is a big impactor for those who are playing the short game or that are hedge funds. The next thing I wanted to jump into is a discussion about the difference in how Tesla has been handling the truck versus how they've handled the Model 3. So just to review, as you may recall, there are things that happened with the Model 3. For example, Tesla took time to host an event, and then you saw all these people standing in line in different places to get on the order list. Greetings from Slovakia. Thanks, John. And what I found mind-blowing about this was how carefully Tesla was trying to publicly sort of bring aboard interesting people or interested people that might want to purchase their vehicles. And where the mind-blowing part comes up is the fact that look at all the little details of the Model 3 introduction. You know how long the list is. There's a global preparation for the vehicle coming out, etc., etc. Now, what I thought was really mind-blowing is think about how the truck is being handled. Greetings from Latvia. Think of how things are being handled in terms of the truck. In this case, while Tesla did do an introduction globally so everybody knows it exists, I'm fascinated because the press seems to be in a mode of saying, hey, the truck might be late like other things. There are all these other issues relative to the truck and its production. What I think is fascinating on the other side of that is I believe the truck is a lot more like a club, where there's a line that we know about for the club, but you'll notice that Tesla hasn't announced how many trucks have been ordered. The companies that have chosen to order and have chosen to state that they've ordered, that news is out there, but Tesla's making nothing like the effort with trucks that they made with cars. Now, I think this is really fascinating because, bottom line, Tesla knows that they have a monopoly on these trucks and they have zero competition. So if you have something that everybody wants that there isn't enough of, they don't have to market it. They don't have to do anything special. And those companies that are lucky to get copies of it or get on the list at an early point, so they'll be getting inventory starting next year, those folks are happy to be there and will carefully abide by any of the secrecy rules that Tesla has mandated. So I think this whole thing is kind of fascinating because it's like, well, wait a second. There's a whole discussion of will Tesla go out of business and all these other blah, 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 ridiculous comments. But when you look at how the truck is being marketed, or not marketed for that matter, it really highlights the fact that everybody knows, including Daimler-Benz and Nikola and other competitors, that they have a huge competitive advantage here, and that it's not going to be sort of solved by competitors anytime soon. So what this then brings up in my mind is the fact that, well, $20,000 a truck times a few thousand trucks can add up to significant capital. So bottom line on this video, what I was really wanting to cover is the fact that there's actually a well-heeled investment manager that has a $4,000 target for Tesla's stock price based on all the competitive advantages they have over other individuals, and in particular the focus on the fact that Tesla gets to enjoy software margins and therefore multiples that software companies get that auto companies do not get. So I just think this is awesome. So again, I think there's some, as you can see, some interesting points to be made here. I definitely look forward to any and all comments that you guys may have on any of the above. I have to admit, I was a little surprised to see CNBC put anybody on their shows that's positive about Tesla, because typically the negative comments are always the focus, and how can we grow the negative comments to negatively impact the company. I just had a couple of cleanup items here that I was impressed by. Good morning, Orly in Indiana. Thanks for stopping. I've been having a back and forth, and I want to encourage you guys to try to read the comments made. But there's been this interesting dialogue that I've been having with a couple of folks that are heavily involved with trucks. And the dialogue focuses on the fact that Tesla has put the driver in the middle of the truck. This facilitates better aerodynamics because you can redesign the truck with that in mind. It also is a cost reduction because you don't have to do different trucks for different markets around the world. For those that are right or left-hand drive, it doesn't matter, you're in the middle of the truck. Now, something I did not know that sort of blew my socks off as a form factor is the fact that Tesla now has a relatively easy way for the trucker to walk into the truck up some stairs. Evidently, one of the problems with trucking is you have a lot of overweight, mostly men, and they will actually fall off in icy or bad conditions, the trucks, and injure themselves and be out for as much as 20 days. So when you design a truck as a form factor and you make it easier for people to get in, the owners of those Tesla trucks will actually get better form factor for how people interact with the trucks, and therefore will be experiencing fewer injuries by admission to the truck. And I frankly have to admit, I didn't expect that to be a data point, but was impressed by one of my viewers taking time out to view this. Now, as we're closing out today, I wanted to remind you guys, would really appreciate a $1 or $2 support from you guys on Patreon. Also note, just got my real estate license together with a firm called Long & Foster. It has a Christie's division for the high end, and we can basically help on buys or sells on real estate anywhere in the world, and would love to get a chance to work with you if there's an opportunity that presents itself. Very much look forward to any and all comments regarding this. Again, please like and subscribe. Tschüss, German, Max gut, also German. Au revoir, Français, Lahid Road, Hebrew, Choda Hafez, Arabic, and Walk Good Enough Respect from Jamaica, and also look forward to Latvian and other languages that you guys want to share with me. Again, please like and subscribe. Don't forget, we're available to support you on any real estate activities you're doing, and please hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. And please, Ark is the name of the firm, and I encourage you to listen to her video because she has some terrific ideas relative to opportunities. Do videnia. Thank you very much, John, for what that means goodbye in Latvia. Again, thank you all for taking time out. I know you guys are busy. Look forward to our next dialogue relative to where Tesla's headed and why. But what it suggests is that you need to buy the stock before things go bananas, instead of just listening to what's going on. Have a wonderful day and enjoy your Sunday. And I'm leaving you with some Gregorian chants. It is Sunday. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye. Actually, I do take live calls. We haven't set that up immediately, but would love to have your questions on there. We can go ahead and respond to those. So that's a great idea on the live calls. Thanks for the question. Trying to see if I can pick up any last questions here before I sign off. Hey, terrific, man. If you could send some information, we definitely need to update what we're doing in terms of our live streaming, and there are a number of folks. We'll take a look. Thank you. All right. Again, thank you again for joining us, and have a great day, guys. Tobin, thanks for saying hello. Oh, wow. Hey, thanks for the number. And you're in the DC area. Terrific. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you and have a wonderful day. Look forward to any and all comments you guys have. I'm looking forward to what you think about that $4,000 price tag target.